So let's customize the look of our website. For doing that, we just click on Customize up here. Let me get rid of this tab. Okay. So as you can see here, there are some of these customizer sections with a gray background. All of these belong to the theme. The ones that are white are just standard WordPress sections. So let's start at the beginning here with the layout section. And in here we have three panels, site container blocks. Let's start with site. So under site, we can set the site background color. Let's do that very quick. So let's pick an ugly green just for example now. As you can see, nothing happens. That's because with the site background, the actual background that is applied to the root element is meant. And you will only see this if you, for example, give the site container instead of 100%, let's make it 95. And then you can see this is the actual background color of the root element of the site here. And then the container background color is the color that this site container inherits. So if we make this just an ugly red, just for demonstration purposes, you can see this is applied to all the areas that don't have a specific background color already applied to them. So let's go back here to just use the defaults again. And then we can set this to 100. You can also give this a pixel value, like for example like this. And then, you know, the site will never get bigger than this value. You know, this is important if you have certain images, background images that you don't want to stretch, or if you just in general want a site with a layout that is sort of like contained. However, I'm just gonna set this back to the initial state, 100%. So that's the site section here. Then under the container section, these are the containers that are inside of the website. For example, this wider container here. So if I set this down to, let's say, 1000, you can see this container just shrunk. And this container basically tells the content how big it can maximum, you know, how big the maximum width is allowed to be. So let me set this back to how it was. Okay. Let's go back, and now we're at blocks here. So in here we can set, you know, all the blocks that you can use have an applied maximum width. And I'm just talking about the blocks that are just set to the standard alignment. As you could see up here, as soon as you set something to a wide alignment, the container max width will take over. However, the blocks, the standard blocks here, this is the maximum width that they're using. So if I make this smaller, you can see here these paragraph blocks shrink down. And then you can also adjust the spacing between the blocks. So the vertical spacing would be the space between, you know, for example, these two paragraphs, or even the separator and the paragraph, or the heading and the separator. So if I set this to, maybe let's just make it very small to see it actually working. So I'm going to set this from 8 to 2. And you can see this just all shrunk down. Even right here, what happened in these cards shrunk down. Also this distance here, you know, it just all shrank. Let's set this back to 8. Okay. And then you can also adjust this, you know, for the different viewports. So for desktop, for tablet, and for mobile. So for example, if we switch to mobile and we say, you know what, on mobile these spaces, they look way too big, we would just click on the little mobile tab here, maybe set this from 8 to 6. Okay, and now it's a little narrower. So let's go back here. Then we have the horizontal block space. So this is used, for example, for these columns here, right here. So if I shrink this down to from 8 to 2, for example, you will see, oh no, actually, I'm sorry. This will only apply to, is used as a standard value for blocks that are right next to each other. The columns here can actually be set separately in the blocks settings. However, that's gonna come in a later video. So let's skip this for now. We also have these large block spaces. These are used for group blocks with background colors, for example, or that have the block LG class applied to them. So if we set this from 20 to, let's say, 6, you'll see this space here will shrink down a lot. So let's put this back to 20. And then we have the same thing for horizontal block space. You know, this is the left and right of these group blocks with applied background color, or that have this block LG class applied to them. So let's go back, and that was already it for the layout section. In the next video, we'll look over the font options.